it and got their breakfast, that lunch, or that dinner. That was rewarding to me to know that God used me to provide this service for those people.
Vessel,
yes.
And it was very honorable of you to do it. And that alone shows that God is on your side and God is going to continue to bless you. And we rebuke anything that is keeping you from getting the blessing that God has for you.
Yes, Lord.
And I challenge every pastor to call in right now to pray for my friend and my brother, for this business is doing a great service. It's fresh barbecue every day.
Every day. Every day.
And delicious tasting barbecue. And those who can contest to that should do so and sign a petition that this business owner, this man of God will get what he deserves and receive what is right.
Mm-hmm. And that which was sent by the federal government to aid and assist.
Asian, Latino, that we are brothers and sisters in a long and difficult struggle.
White folk rule us with fear. It is not white people, it's your fear of them that you gotta be freed from. You are a slave, a dressed up Brooks Brothers alligator shoe wearing, diamond ring wearing slave.
I think I'm hearing revolution in the air. I think I'm hearing revolution in the air. Tell me, brother, talk to me, sister. I think I'm hearing revolution in the air. Tell me, brother, talk to me, sister.
It is time for us to use our power. Please do not beg folks for power. Nobody is going to give it to you. You were born with power.
Some very sad news for all of you, and people who love peace all over the world. Martin Luther King was shot and was killed tonight in Memphis.
Revolution.
Never say that progress is being made. If you stick a knife in my back 9 inches and pull it out 6 inches, there's no progress. You pull it all the way out, that's not progress. The progress is healing the wound that the blow made.
Healing the wound that the blow made. I said healing the wound that the blow made. Good evening on this special edition of Town Hall Community Radio. I'm your host, Prince Carter. I had to go live tonight. I wanted to get some stuff off of my chest. I had a very disturbing phone call today. And I want to talk about that phone call that I had today. And I'm going to ask everyone within the sound of my voice, if you have a relationship with the greater being, I need you to tune in and see if we can get some prayer warriors. I'm in need of prayer, and I need some folk that know how to pray, that aren't afraid to pray, to pray on this situation for me, and to help me pray on this situation as it relates to what I am now being told by elected officials that represent me. Okay, about representation. I was talking to Alderwoman Sharon Tighe. She finally called me back today, y'all. She finally called me back, and to pray on this situation for me. I just I'm asking folks to join me in prayer today because I got a call from my alderwoman, and I gotta tell you exactly what she said, and you'll understand why I'm saying that we need to pray on this situation. As many of you all know, for the last couple of years, I've been seeking and attempting to get these funds that were provided by the federal government for small black businesses in my community. I'm in the city of St. Louis, Missouri. And if it's anybody in the world that has a relationship, I don't care what city or state you're in, I'm asking you to call in and pray with me right now. If you're not afraid to pray, if you don't have a problem with prayer, I'm seeking your assistance in praying for this situation. As I told you all, I've been trying to get these funds that the federal government sent post-COVID to aid and assist small black businesses such as myself and others in my community. I got a call from my alderwoman, and some cities they call them the council people. In the city of St. Louis, they're referred to as alderpersons. And this alderwoman, Sharon Tyers, called me today and attempted to blow smoke up my backside. And she has never really and truthfully been totally honest with me about anything as relates to supporting me. She initially told me that she was in support of me and that she was supporting me. Well, lo and behold, today she has gotten wind that I have proceeded without her to make this a reality as it relates to the expansion of my barbecue business. This alderwoman has told me out of her own mouth that me expanding my business onto a vacant lot that's been vacant for 20 years on Union Boulevard in St. Louis, Missouri, is not in the interest of the community. She, as the alderperson, is going to do what she can to block and stop me from expanding onto a vacant lot that has been vacant for well over 20 years. I have spoken with other organizations in the community as well as the people that actually live in the community, and they all embrace me and support me. Then why is it that this one black female elected official is not supporting Prince Carter and the expansion of his business onto a vacant lot that's been vacant for over 20 years? What type of representation is that? What type of elected official would do such a thing, would believe in such a thing? I just, for the life and the love of God, I don't understand how is it that a person can claim to be for the interest of a people in a community, but you don't support black businesses expanding onto a vacant lot that's been vacant for well over 20 years. And I just don't get it. I asked her, and she got upset and hung up because I asked her, what's the problem with me expanding onto this vacant lot? Why wouldn't she support that? And her response is, that's not what she wants for the ward. That's not in the interest of the black community. So, in other words, this little poor black man selling barbecue on Union Boulevard is a problem of the black community. And I can't believe that I'm gonna try to call her back because she hung up on me earlier.
call has been forwarded to an automated voice messaging system. Sharon.
Okay, she's not answering. She's not answering.
Is not available. At the tone, please record your message. When you've finished recording, you may hang up or press 1 for more options. To leave a callback number, press 5.
Alderwoman Tyus, this is Prince Carter. I'd appreciate it if you would return my phone call and the earlier conversation we had, and for you to just hang up was very unprofessional, and it was unwarranted. We were having a discussion about why you feel I shouldn't expand my business onto a vacant lot, and rather than answer the question, you hung up on me. And I not only have a business in the ward, but I actually live in the ward. And as an elected official, it's very unprofessional and it's conduct unbecoming of you to hang up on a constituent. Okay, I had to get that off my chest. She had the medicated galls to actually hang up on me, and I just that didn't sit well with me at all. But to tell me that you're not going to support that is sad, folks. And I'm asking my prayer warriors. I'm gonna get me some prayer warriors out here to, in fact, pray over this situation and see what we can do. Because I'm gonna tell you something. I don't care what nobody say. Prayer changes things. I'm a firm believer in that. I'm a firm believer that prayer changes things. And for this sister to come sideways like she did, it's horrible. It's horrible, people. And I'm going to make sure that I do all that I can to continue to encourage folks to pray for this lady. I don't think that we should allow folks to just be getting off like that. I live in the ward. I have a business in the ward. And for you, an elected official, to just blatantly tell me you're not going to support me expanding my business onto a vacant lot, and then turn around and hang up on me.
Please leave your message for 90172457775.
Hey, Rev, how you doing? Okay, I'm trying to call you now. Just hang up. I'm going to call you back. We're going to be live on the air when I call you back. And we're going to pray on this. We're going to pray. I'm going to put the Rev on her, and we're going to put Jesus on her. And I'm telling you, folks, this is, I am a true child of God. And no weapon formed against me shall prosper, elected officials or not. So I'm going to reach out to the Rev, and we're going to pray on Sharon Tyus, and we're going to pray.
Good evening.
Good evening, Reverend. How you doing this evening?
I'm doing well.
Listen, Rev, I hate to bother you. I know you're off today and everything, but I had a very disturbing phone call from an elected official earlier today. As you very well know, I've been doing all that I can to seek these funds that were provided by the federal government, and in the effort to expand my business. And the alderwoman that represents my community and my ward told me today that she will not support, even though I've gotten support from the people that live in the area, I've gotten support from neighborhood organizations. But for this black elected official who, in my opinion, has no legitimate or valid reason for not supporting a small black business to expand. Now, if the barbecue business is hindering the community, is it a problem to the black community? Is it a problem to the neighborhood? Then say that. But just don't tell me that because you don't want this, that you're not going to support it. And I don't think that's the way elected officials should operate. So
neither do I. They are for the elected officials are for the people because they're elected for the people or by the people.
But Rev, I believe that prayer has the power to change things. And I'm asking you and any and everybody that believes in the power of prayer to help and pray with me right now on this situation, that God touches her and removes her spiritual blinders and allow her to understand that King Prince Barbecue is not the problem in the black community. That expanding onto a vacant lot will not hurt the black community. It would be in the best interest of the black community to see a beacon of hope and a beacon of inspiration as a small business that started from nothing can, by the grace of God, manifest into a expansion in a crumbling neighborhood, a crumbling community that has little to no redevelopment.
I understand.
So, Reb, if you would just lead us in prayer, this man, and pray over this sister, and pray that she's touched and she understands that I am a true child of God, and no weapon formed against me, not even her, can prosper.
Okay. Father God, in the name of Jesus, we come tonight thanking you for all of your blessings that you have bestowed upon us. Dear Lord, we ask a special blessing on Brother Prince Carter's business, that it may prosper, that it has been a beacon of light unto the neighborhood. It provides a decent service. He loves people. He gives to the homeless. And Lord, we ask that you take the heart of stone away from this young lady who is of the officials, who knows that this man is standing for right and who is giving a great service to the community, to the west side of St. Louis, Lord. We pray that you will help him, Lord, and we pray that they will help him expand his business right now. In the mighty name of Jesus, we pray. Amen. Thank God. Let it be. And so it is.
Thank you, Lord. Thank you, Reb. Thank you, Reb. I just, I don't believe in attacking people and going after and tit for tat anymore. I turn to prayer, and I believe in my heart that it is through my faith and my prayers that has gotten me thus far. And I will continue to stand on my faith. I will continue to stand on God's word and pray for this sister, even though she has made it known to me that she's going to do some vindictive things to try to stop me from expanding my business onto a vacant lot that's been vacant in our community for well over 20 years. I pray for this sister. I pray for her.
We rebuke it in the name of Jesus.
Thank you.
We decree that it will be done and that all is well.
Yes, Lord. Yes, Lord. I was just so disappointed and so upset because she spoke with forked tongues and been telling me for the last 2 years that she supported me, and now all of a sudden today she finds it in her heart to tell me that she won't be supporting me expanding, and she's going to do what she can to block and stop it. And I just think that her reaching out and writing letters to the St. Louis. This is Town Hall Community Radio on a Saturday morning. This is Prince Carter, and we're taking your calls at 314-732-1212, 314-732-1212. Good morning, Mark Kaysen.
That is a good phone number, you know that?
Oh, it's easy to remember for me. I tell you.
No, it's great.
Mark, I wanted to get you on here this morning. You're not aware of the latest and the greatest as it relates to these sagas and seeking these American Rescue Plan funds. And another hurdle, just a little small hump that I've run into, very disappointing, I might add, is that my current alderwoman, who I'm not only a business owner in the ward, but I actually physically live in the ward. And she just told me out of her own mouth on Wednesday that she does not support me expanding my current business and my current location onto a vacant lot that's been vacant for over 20 years. Can you believe that?
Well, let me ask you, why?
Well,
there's got to be a reason.
There is none. She can't even fabricate one, I don't think.
Well, wait a second. I mean, you don't know. I mean, I would like to know, maybe they're planning to build a Trump Tower on that lot. But I'm serious, really.
Well, I wouldn't be surprised about the Trump Tower thing. But for her...
No, I'm just saying, you don't know, and I'd like to know
But
what
wait,
plan.
let me
she's got
ask you
for-
this, Robbie, my current location, and not expanding it. And I want to know
Well,
why.
wait a second. Maybe she may have a really good idea and reason.
But she should have been woman enough to explain it to me.
Well, okay, but listen, I don't know how you asked the question.
Just like I'm
but
talking
let
to
me
you.
say-
Just like I'm talking. There's only one way to ask the question, Mark. It's not 1,000 ways to ask a simple question.
Well, there are ways and there are ways. I just don't know. I mean, I'm not saying I know. Look, she said she wants you to expand your business, right?
No, she wants me to relocate to another spot and give up my current location. That's not what I feel I should have to do. I've been there for over 8 years. I want to continue to stay there.
You don't have to do it. I'm just saying, and she'll tell you don't have to do it, but
She told me she's going to write a letter to the St. Louis Development Corporation to try to block and stop me from expanding onto a vacant lot. This sister is something. She's a bully. She has bully tendencies, bully behaviors, and for her to just raise her voice as if I was her child or her husband and was out of line in the first place, I didn't appreciate that, and I let it be known, because if I'm talking to you, all the woman, we want to hear from her, and she fled the scene, and that's on record.
Yeah, I mean, maybe. I just don't know.
But Mark, you did something last week that I'm concerned about as well. You last time I talked to you on this platform, you said you was going to go find out why the money was being set on.
I found out.
Okay, but here's the deal. But stop, Mark. Don't do that to me now. Don't do that to me. Before you go any further, what you did was misleading, first and foremost, and it was not proper representation. You went to Kansas City and found an elected official in Kansas City to talk to, not anyone locally here. Let's be clear on that.
Well, I let me say this. I will additionally talk to some local people. I will.
But you haven't yet.
No, wait. Listen. I will tell you right now that I have at least one member of the Board of Aldermen who's coming on my show this week. And in addition to that, I've spoken to other business people, and I told you two parts of the answer.
Okay, but before you go any further,
wait.
This is my show now, Mark. I get to ask the questions.
Yeah, go ahead.
All right, who is this older person that's coming on to speak with you this week?
Well, I'll tell you.
Just say it, Mark.
Put it out there, and
you can't put it out for government in the midst of a crisis. You do know that.
Can I tell you the answer again?
Tell me the answer.
Thank you. So first of all, as you know, I've been told that if the city has less than $500,000, that the money goes through the state, and it gets very difficult. However, it's worse than that. Every business person that I've talked to that got the money, and I got the money. I got free money from the government. And I can tell you right now, only reason I got it was because my accountant filled out the paperwork. Mm-hmm. Because I could have never figured it out. And the funny thing is, and it really is not fair, it took probably 10 minutes for my accountant to do that. But if you had to go to an accountant that you weren't already paying, I mean, they'd have probably asked you for $1,000 for you to get $1,000. So all I'm saying is it's very difficult for poor people to get things that wealthier people can easily get their hands on.
When they don't have an
And it's
accountant.
not fair. And it's when they don't have an account. No, I had an account.
Poor black folks don't have
any.
poor black.
And you could even imagine because you couldn't even count that high. And I'm telling you, I couldn't figure it out.
Mark Kaysen, how high do you know that I can count?
Well, if you count to 1 million, you still won't be high enough.
So you got over
the graduation to count the graduation credits that I have. Wait, let me say something else.
Mark Kaysen, you don't really believe that you have 1 million credits in education.
Okay, I'm just playing with you, but I'm saying this. I agree with you. You're exactly right. The money should be more accessible, but it isn't. And it's not because of the local officials. It is not.
Mark Kaysen, that is not true. That is not true.
Okay, well,
they're the ones that's been procrastinating and holding this money up.
Okay, I'm going to talk to some more people.
Well, I thought you were going to talk to the. You said you were going to talk to the mayor. You can't talk to the mayor anymore. You used to be able to talk to the mayor, huh?
I'll talk to the mayor.
But why would you go to Kansas City and talk to someone without first talking with the mayor? That's what I don't get.
Because I have a very close friendship caucus. Mm-hmm. And they, for my first show, offered me this wonderful lady, state representative, the link so you can hook right into my show on Zoom and you'll look just like when you're on a network television show.
Well, let me ask you this. Can you somehow or another arrange to set this up when you have one of these black elected officials that you're speaking with?
And so I'm going to give you my link, and I'm going to tell my producer, anytime you see Prince Carter coming in through that link, he doesn't have to be booked. Just let him in.
Okay. Now, Mark, are you making me jealous again?
No, wait.
You got to Go ahead, Mark.
Wait a sec. Okay. The website to access the show is talkstl.net.
Talkstl.net for those that want.
Talk.
That's what I said.
Listen,
talk.
Talk. Okay.
You said talk or talk?
Talk STL, TALK, talkstl.net. Now.
What days are you on? What days are you on?
Every day, 5 days a week.
What time?
4 o'clock.
4 o'clock.
4 in the afternoon.
All
but
right.
listen now. Listen. First of all, it's again called Showdown. So that's the name. And you'll see referred to me by Anthony Shahid. The guy's a nice guy. I mean, from the very first, I liked him a lot. Only problem is, I had Jamila on the air on Thursday.
Mm-hmm.
And this guy, and if you go to Facebook, and you can watch it,
mm-hmm.
he went crazy calling Jamila every kind of name you can imagine. And when I tell you what he was calling her, I can't even say it. But I can tell you that one of the words was MF, and it got worse after that.
Mm-hmm.
So I had to
part ways with him.
I had to end his association with the program. But I mean, Anthony was shocked as well because Anthony considers himself to be Jamila's brother.
Right.
So, I mean, the whole thing was really it was bad.
And did he give any explanation for it?
He said he just felt like it.
Oh, wow. Well, I I don't condone or agree with disrespecting anyone publicly. And I you know, one of the things that I'm gonna be asking my older woman for is an apology, because I've been nothing but actions and her behavior point toward the direction of her being a bully. She has bully tendencies and bully behaviors. And when she doesn't have her way, she gets, oh my God, she flipped the script on me, and I wasn't looking for that.
And I'm just saying, in politics and in radio or TV or whatever you want to call it, it's fair to say, you know, certain things like what you just said is completely acceptable.
Right.
True or not true, it doesn't matter. The point is, this is political discussion. What's not fair, and it's totally unacceptable because no advertiser can be associated with it anyway.
Exactly.
Is when you get into all that kind of crazy
disrespectful,
profanity.
and disrespectful behavior. I agree.
Yeah. But anyway, I hope you'll check it out. And then I'm telling you, this week, you can starting this week, you are welcome, Prince.
All right.
Anytime you want, you're there.
And I won't behave as if I'm the prisoner of love. I won't do any of his behavior. I'll conduct. I'll control myself.
I'll tell you this one thing: if we could get the prisoner of love back,
oh my God,
I would accept it.
Now, see, that's who I would
accept any behavior.
Find a way to find it in their heart to sign the petition to have these funds released. A lot of folks still don't believe or know that money was sent in the interest of poor black folks in North St. Louis City post-COVID. And those that are elected to represent us got the money, didn't tell us what the money was for, and have been creating obstacles and hurdles to prevent poor folks from getting emergency funds that were sent post-COVID. That's here in the city of St. Louis. This is the black history that our elected officials are creating for themselves as we speak. I don't think that it's fair to say that there's any justifiable reason, because if there was a legitimate or a justifiable reason, they would have came forward with it by now. This is a blatant disregard and a blatant disrespect for a people and a community like never before. I don't know about you or how you fend through it, but COVID-19 rocked my world. It turned it upside down. And I think that we should make it our business to, in fact, hold those accountable and begin to ask the questions. Where's the money? Why can't poor folks get the money? Why didn't our elected officials follow the instructions of the President of the United States and spend that money expeditiously and send back for more? Because they really, really, really don't want to help poor black folks. That's the only thing I can figure out. If you can think of something different, the number is 314-732-1212. I don't have all
that you gotta be freed from.
I think I'm hearing revolution in the air. I think I'm hearing revolution in the air. Tell me, brother, talk to me, sister. I think I'm hearing revolution in the air. Tell me, brother, talk to me, sister.
It is time for us to use our power. Please do not beg folks for power. Nobody is going to give it to you. You were born with power.
Some very sad news for all of you and people who love peace all over the world. Martin Luther King was shot and was killed tonight in Memphis.
I will never say that progress is being made if You stick a knife in my back 9 inches and pull it out 6 inches. There's no progress. You pull it all the way out. That's not progress. The progress is healing the wound that the blow made.
I think I'm hearing revolution in the air. Tell me, brother, talk to me, sister.
But the hard truth is that not everyone is sharing in this city's.
I'm hearing revolution in the air. Tell me, brother, talk to me, sister. I think I'm hearing revolution in the air. Tell me, brother, talk to me, sister. I think I'm hearing revolution in the air. I think I'm hearing revolution in the air. Tell me, brother, talk to me, sister. I think I'm hearing revolution in the air. Tell me, brother, talk to me, sister.
It is time for us to use our power. Please do not beg folks for
Please do not beg nobody for power. You were born with it, people. You were born with power. Once again, very pleasant good morning. This is Prince Carter. I'm your host. This is Town Hall Community Radio. And we're going to be talking about a number of things this morning. I forgot. Let me see if I can get Zenobia. Let me see if I can find this sister, and because I was supposed to call her this morning and figure out how she's doing. They're having a big fundraiser today. The Change the Name Coalition at the park, and I'm going to see if I can raise this sister on the phone. And I told her I was going to be calling her.
Zenobia Thompson.
Okay, I didn't get her that time. I did, in fact, hope that she had answered. I was supposed to call her in the other hour, but nonetheless, we're going to continue to encourage folks to support the fundraiser this morning. It's at 3115 Park. I forget the name of the church. That's why I was trying to get in touch with Zenobia. But it's a fundraiser breakfast. You can have breakfast and support a good cause all at the same time. Homer G. Phillips was a jewel in the black community in his heyday. That's where doctors were able to go and practice where they were rejected from other institutions around the world. And Homer G. Phillips was and then a day or so later came back in the other eye. And the doctors, excuse me, at that point tried to get my mom's permission to do some form of surgery to, in fact, find out how the sight was able to be restored. And my mother declined, packed my bags, and got me the heck up out of there. And I've been seeing ever since. But Homer G. Phillips, the coalition, the Change the Name Coalition, is having a fundraiser this morning from 9 a.m. to 11 at 3115 Park. And we encourage folks to, in fact, go ahead and support that cause, because it's a worthy cause. It's a good cause, and I encourage folks to do all that they can to support that. And again, I want to talk about this morning also this red light camera thing. They're talking about bringing back red light cameras. I don't have a problem personally with the red light cameras. The problem I have is that I believe that there needs to be the police department enforcing traffic laws. I don't think you can get away from or make excuses for not policing a community. It's not right that we have a police department with a traffic division that's not being utilized. I think that these people, when they're out here running these red lights and running these stop signs and weaving in and out of traffic, and they're pulling them over and they don't have insurance, they should hold their car until they can show proof of insurance. I think that would stop a lot of this. I think that the red light cameras will not be as half as effective as physical police officers out here enforcing traffic laws. And one of the things that I've been told, and I don't know if it's 100% accurate, but some police officers say that they don't even pull them over anymore because if they begin to pull them over and they run, they can't chase them, or they're not supposed to chase them. And that's another thing. People always get upset with the police about these chases, but nobody ever puts any of the blame on the people that they're chasing, who is actually causing the high-speed chase. I don't think that you should just say, I'm just coming. Okay. All right. And I'm getting text messages and whatnot. I got some tickets to give away today, too, and for the Lakeside concert. Lakeside is coming to St. Louis. Send out fines for the red light camera. Take the money, sit it in the bank, draw the interest. And I don't know. That's just, yes, that's okay. That's okay. Okay, allow that. Yeah, I'm multitasking here as we're sitting, and I think I need to turn the heat down some more. Is it heat? Yeah, because it's not that cold. I don't understand why we're making these adjustments. I got a couple of quick calls I got to make. I'm going to take a quick break. We'll be right back.
You were born with power.
Some very sad news for all of you and people who love peace all over the world. Martin Luther King was shot and was killed tonight in Memphis.
I will never say that progress is being made. If you stick a knife in my back 9 inches and pull it out 6 inches, there's no progress. You pull it all the way out, that's not progress. The progress is healing the wound that the blow made.
I think I'm hearing revolution in the air. Tell me, brother, talk to me, sister.
But the hard truth is that not everyone is sharing in this city's splendor and glory. There are more poor than ever, more families in trouble, more and more.
In the air, tell me, brother.
Brother to my sister, I think I'm hearing revolution in the air. Yeah, I just don't think red light cameras is the answer. That's just me. I really think that we have to stop making excuses for not patrolling and policing a community. The city of St. Louis is doing, in my opinion, if I had to grade the service that was issued to our community, I would have to more than likely give it a D minus. Good morning, Town Hall Community Radio. You're on the air. Go ahead, caller. Caller, are you there? Did I hang up on him? I don't know. Do 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 do. Okay. Good morning. Good morning, caller. Are you there?
Good morning, sir. Red light cameras is part of a bigger issue. I believe it's a part of a bigger plot. But go ahead.
So are you for or against red light cameras?
I'm not sure. I think I'm against it overall. How it could be used and the information that is gathered from it. I think it'll kick back more on innocent.
Deemed to be illegal, and what are they going to do this time differently that's going to make it legal is another question I think that needs to be explained.
Well, what you have to look at is just like gambling. For a long time, you couldn't get that in, right?
Mm-hmm.
So you just kept voting on it until it voted in. So put it this way, some things they just get in if they want to get it back in again. It could be deemed, now, if they really enforced it and say, okay, somebody who ran the light trying to get to work or some various other things and really just headed in there for people who are running lights and doing it accessibly, and you can kind of tell from the video or on the thing if somebody just doing it excessively or going around another car and do it. You get what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
Stuff like that. That would pop.
Bishop, I think at the end of the day, when it's all said and done,
it won't be used properly. That's my whole point.
Exactly.
So,
not only that, but why not just take the approach of utilizing physical officers and have them to pull the cars over and issue the citations, check and make sure that these people have an insurance, which is a grave concern because we have people out here that's going to work every day, 9 to 5, busting their backside off, paying their bills, doing the right thing, have insurance, and some joker with no insurance.
Deterred, period, because they see that the police is there.
Bishop, I haven't seen a police officer walk the beat in over 25 years. I don't know if there's such a thing anymore.
That's my point. It needs to be back.
Well, I know. I take that back. I take that back. I think I've seen them walk through Central West End a time or two. I think they may have some foot patrol over there. I think I did see that at one time.
And crime is less. Crime is less in that area, I bet. And I've seen them down there.
I don't know if that's necessarily true. I think a lot of the crime to this day still doesn't get reported. If you take the fact that the average person that will call 911, and if they're on the phone waiting for 5 and 10 minutes to get through to somebody, and then have to wait another 20 to 30 minutes or better for the police to actually show up or arrive, oftentimes people just give up and just take matters into their own hands out of anger and frustration. And I'm not encouraging that, but I do know that there is a huge level of frustration with the ability to dial 911 and actually get somebody.
But here's the other thing, since you brought that into light. Statistical, there are it's less of your crime is committed randomly. Would you agree with that?
I don't know. Well, I
watch people, and then they become frenemies with you, and the next thing you know, they're trying to jack you for your car, steal your car, or something of that effect. It's hardly very few, because a guy was telling me, it was a Caucasian guy, and this was probably about 25, 30 years ago. His father was carjacked for his car, but his dad didn't succumb to it. I think he hit the guy or something, but he wasn't going to give up his car. You know what I mean?
Right.
And they got into a little altercation. Now, that was a random crime.
Right.
But 9 times out of 10, people know they know they're victims. You know what I mean?
And
they
they-
break in your house, they know you.
And they feel
watch.
comfortable. They have a level of comfort with doing that which they're doing. I agree. I oftentimes. Well, let me ask you this, Bishop. Do you know your neighbors? I mean, do you have a relationship with your neighbors?
I try. I try to the best of my ability.
I think we and for the most part, many folk have become unfriendly with their neighbors. Some folk don't even know their neighbor's name. I look back and coming up in public housing, and in the Vine there were 9-story buildings, and there were anywhere from 4 families on the floor to we lived in the projects. I've never had anybody break in our house when we were in the projects. Nobody broke in. I think the biggest crime we had one time is that my good brother, rest in peace, Larry Chapman, got my sister for one of her ribs off the grill while she was in the back. She was in the apartment and the grill was out on the porch. And this guy stole the whole rib off the grill, and I ran up the stairs, and she was so fired up about that. But that was somebody again that we knew, and he was doing it as a joke. But he ate that rib though. But I look back in the days when folks don't believe us when I tell them we actually slept on the porch and didn't lock our doors in the projects, and people couldn't believe that.
Well, it was a different time, and as I was told, said that the bad boys and the thieves wore good slacks and pants and had crease in them, and looked at mannerable, and they was yes ma'am, no ma'am. You didn't, and if they would have got caught, and somebody would have confronted them, they could have had disciplined them and sent them on.
Oh, back
You
in
follow
the
what I'm
day.
saying?
Back in the day.
Yeah.
Now folks don't want you to look at their kids. They don't want you to say nothing to them. And oftentimes,
because actually the teachers in our day was a second mother. School was more of family structured, and when you went there to learn. So if you were having behavior problems, they tried to deal with them the best that they could once they realized and met the mother and considered the source. So you have to know the source from which the problem of the child's family, because most people are acting out what is going on really at home. So once they meet your mother or father, dads, then too many people have dads in the project. But
well, that's not necessarily true. I wouldn't agree with that.
What I mean by that is staying in the house with them. It wasn't a high source of males staying in the home with their kids.
A lot of that was due in fact that they were forbidden. They couldn't. The males couldn't live in it. And the ones that did it illegally or without them knowing about it. But there were men in the homes with children and their families in the projects. It wasn't a whole lot, but there was some.
Well, I'm glad we raised that, and you are correct. But so once they meet the family, then if you, at least at Jefferson, I can speak on that. At Jefferson, the teachers seemed to care.
Run all the kids out and tell the kids they couldn't be in there, or they wouldn't allow anyone to mess with the teachers. The teachers were off hands. They were off. You couldn't touch a teacher. They didn't make sure that nothing happened to their cars or any of that, because teachers were sacred back then. They were protected by the entire community, and I think we've gotten away from that. Right. I think we've gotten away from that. And I think that there is a need at this day and time to put forth a zero tolerance in assaults and attacks on teachers and educators as a whole. I don't think, first and foremost, they don't make enough money to have to be subject to assaults and attacks. But more importantly than that, I think that it sends a very negative and the wrong image on the profession of teachers when it's you have folks that are going to tolerate and accept this type of behavior. I think that there should be swift and precise measures of punishment for anyone that engages in that, and there should be a zero tolerance on assaults on the teachers. I'm one for that. I don't know a lot of teachers today, but because of the teachers that I had and the love and respect that I have for teachers and the profession of teachers, I think they should be well protected, and there should be a zero tolerance. Teacher to make under the poverty level. I mean, I don't think that's something that we should accept. Bishop, I gotta run now. I gotta take this call I've been waiting on. Thank you so much for your call. Continue to listen and continue to call. And let's see if we can get this caller back on. I've been waiting on this call this morning, and good morning, caller. Good morning. We're live on the air. Are you there?
Yeah. Good morning. How you doing, bro?
All right. We were talking about a number of things this morning. Well, first and foremost, I don't know if you were caught the beginning of the program. I had a prayer, some prayer going on for my alderwoman, Sharon Tyus, who is in the new 12th ward now, and I live in the 12th ward, and my business is in the 12th ward, and this elected official, right out of her own mouth, told me that she is not going to support me expanding my business onto a vacant lot, and she's going to do all that she can to prevent me from doing that. And with all of the problems that our community and people are pegged with, I felt quite disturbed that she would take such a negative position toward a poor black barbecue man expanding his business onto a vacant lot. What do you think about something like that?
Well, I think it's actually probably.
And she said that she wanted to help me enhance my curb appeal. This was probably 4 or 5 years ago, I guess. And she wanted to help me fix up the outside of my business and make it more attractive and this, that, and another. And I just told her, because this was at the time, I didn't have any money. I said, I don't have no money. She said, I didn't ask you for no money. I got the money. I said, well, if you have the money, I said, we need to be clear on something here. I said, I don't believe in, kickbacks, and I don't believe in money under the table. Before you spend a dime of that money that you're talking about, we need to be clear on that. And as a result, she ended up not coming through, and she ended up telling me that she took the money and put in some speed bumps.
Well, that pretty much answers your question.
Well, and I don't have a problem with that, because that, I don't know where she got the money for. I know it was probably more than likely taxpayers' money, but I just don't think that people should be having to give politicians money under the table. I don't believe we should have to give the plumbing inspectors money, the fire inspectors. These people are vouchers in our community, and they put folks out of business oftentimes. The way in my journey that I've been going through for the last 15 years, a lot of these inspectors, if you don't give them money or pay them money under the table, they'll force you to spend unnecessary money, and that's how they get down. And it
would put a fear in them that this is coming.
I had a situation a couple of years ago when they were trying to shut me down, and they sent a was he a fire inspector? It was one of those inspectors that they sent out, and he was telling me this, that, and the third, and I had to change this and I had to change that, and the stuff that he was telling me I was going to have to do was going to cost me every bit of probably $7,000 to $8,000 that I didn't have, and I didn't need these things, and I knew that I didn't need them, and he gave me some time to do it, and I instead reached out to the public safety director at the time was Jimmy Edwards, and I called Jimmy Edwards and I told him what happened and how it happened, and Jimmy Edwards, he told me, he said, Prince, he said, if your stuff is in order, I can help you. He said, but if there's anything that's out of code or wrong, I can't do nothing for you. He said, but if everything is up to par, I said everything is up to par. It had been up to par. It was up to par when I got there. So he made a phone call and he inquired an investigation from the guy that's over that department, those heads, and they deemed it that this guy was out of pocket. And the man called and he apologized. He said, I should never see that inspector again, and that I was fine and continued to operate. This was a few years ago. This plumbing inspector, he done retired now. His name was Sharp. And he kept telling me, man, why you keep opening these places and you ain't got no money? I'm trying to get some money, doggone it. you know, I'm trying to get an honest living. And you're trying to shice it.
When you go back to what I said in the beginning of our conversation, that's that crab in the bucket thing. He's in the bottom of the bucket, and you're trying to get out. And his whole mission in life is to stop everybody else from getting out the bucket because I'm in the bucket, and I need company.
Mm-hmm. And that's a sad way to look at it. Hey, Ben, let me ask you something. We were talking earlier about these red light cameras. What's your take on them bringing back the red light cameras? Are you for or against it? My position is I'd rather see police officers pulling cars over versus red light cameras. What's your take on it?
I'm totally against that. I'm totally against that for a couple of reasons. And my first reason is there's somebody that's sitting behind that camera or those pictures that may or may not like me, but make a decision on whether or not I get a ticket that they probably won't give to somebody else. I think either you make those things straight across the board, let the computer give every, and I was on Facebook one time and I talked to this. I was talking to this brother, mm-hmm. and he had $6,000 worth of tickets.
Wow!
Now I'm gonna explain to you how he got the tickets. His girlfriend, they had got into it, and she drove around the block, and she kept passing the cameras, and they kept giving tickets. And this man ain't done nothing. They suspended his license. They locked him up because of all of these tickets. Because when they first started, it was they would lock you up. Now I think they won't lock you up because they can't prove that it was you. But just because it's your car, you have to pay the ticket.
Mm-hmm.
Well, that's not, to me, that's not constitutional. Why should you have to pay a ticket for a light that I ran in your car? I have driven your car before. I have driven your truck before, picking up products. Why should that ticket be yours because I ran it, just because I'm in your car? That's not constitutional, and it's not right.
And I think they knew it, but I don't see them talking about bringing the cameras back in St. Charles or other county.
That was going to be my next. Thing. And why is it that the cameras always? It's proof. No, if it's on camera, it's proof. But if it's on their camera, you didn't get the whole story. If they crack somebody in the head, then and it's on camera, they want you to know the whole story before you make a judgment.
I don't think the red light cameras are the answer. I don't think that they should bring those cameras back. I think they should get police officers to physically go out and enforce traffic laws.
Do their job.
Right. And you can't keep making excuses for not policing a community or a people. I think that the mere fact that there is a lack of presence in the black community is another reason that so many traffic laws are being broken. These people know there ain't no police finna come after them. There's no police around.
Right. And they won't allow us to police our own neighborhood.
Mm-hmm. Well, I just think that as a people, as a community, we've gotten so many things against us. I think a lot of this stuff is a result of not only post-COVID, but that whole movement about defunding the police. And I think that there are folk that have decided that since y'all want to defund us, we're not going to police your communities. We're going to let things run amok in your community as a punishment to you all talking about defund the police.
And that's to me, that's a whole nother topic, because if you really dive into defunding the police, you're not talking about buying them less bullets, less guns, less uniforms. Please get behind me, man. My butthole, it freezes up like somebody put lemon on it. I'm so scared of these police. It's pathetic, because a lot of times when they pull us over, it do not end for us good. You pull me over for a traffic light, but yet you got me laying on the ground, searching this car, you got these dogs, you got your guns out, you got all of this, and I'm traumatized. And then they want to talk about they fear for their life. If I was that scared of someone and they had a broken tail light,
I wouldn't even pull them over.
I think I'd let them go on about their business.
For a broken tail light.
For a broken tail light. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. I think that too often folks take those positions to live out their dream, and that's to be racist and to be a cruel individual to people that ain't done nothing to them. Why do white people hate black folks so much? What has black people done so profound to white Americans that make them to just blatantly just despise black people? What have black people done?
I really don't want to use. I want to say something to you. I don't want to use the phrase white people, because then we're falling into the same category. I want to use the phrase racist people, because I know some good ones. Cocaine, and they say, well, they do a bunch of things to the cocaine to turn it into crack.
No, they don't.
Said, now, when you go, hold on. I say, when you go in tomorrow, I want you to go to your investigative part. I don't know the proper name of it.
The laboratory or something.
Yeah. And you ask them what's the difference. Now, without me saying what's the difference, I want you to say what's the difference in crack and cocaine.
Baking soda.
What is the difference?
Baking soda.
And I told him that, and he said, no way. I said, yes, it is. I said, now, y'all will stop little Pookie around the corner with $40 worth of crack. He get 20 years. Y'all stop Bubba coming down the highway with a whole truckload of cocaine, and he gets 5 probation. So he only going to do 5 years. My niece's husband came back to me about 2 or 3 days later, and he said, man, I can't believe that they had me patrolling my neighborhood, locking all these brothers up that could possibly be something, for the rest of their life. They punish people for the rest of their life, and it's only baking soda. He said, they don't teach us that. I said, they're not going to teach you that, because those laws was designed to further incarcerate black men. And we didn't bring the cocaine into the neighborhood. It was brought in the neighborhood for us. But it's only...
Actually sent funding to North St. Louis. Were you aware of that?
Yes, very aware. I remember when it was talked about.
Okay, how did you learn about it?
Actually, I was at a meeting with Irv Hamilton, the North St. Louis. I can't think of the name of it. We were doing a energy summit, and I was talking to people about solar and different things that I come up with.
Okay. How long ago was this?
Oh, this been about 3-4 years ago when it was coming.
Mm-hmm. So they had
they work for city development, so they knew it was coming.
The money that I'm speaking in terms of was allocated and assigned March 11, 2001.
Yeah, that would have been 3-4 years ago.
Excuse me. It was. I learned about it by the State of the Union address, and when I tell folks this all the time. When I was in grade school, my 7th grade English teacher, Esther Williams, may she rest in peace, as one of the world's greatest educators. I love that woman to this day. When I was in school, I couldn't stand her. But as I look back at the things that she did for me and to me, I love her to the moon and back. And I thank God for one of the things that she instilled in me and us as a class of the importance of giving our undivided attention to the President of the United States whenever he spoke. Whoever that president is, when they crisis, stated that, because, anytime it's a crisis in any other country, America can always bail people out and send aid, this, that, and the third. Well, now there is a need to rescue our own people in our own country because of this crisis. So he decided that this time around that we're going to use these funds to build from the bottom up, starting with what he calls the Hood Census Tract. Now we're getting into some real solutions, because now we're talking about getting funding and aid to a community and a people that have been neglected for decades. This money came with a contingency clause. This money, he stated, was not enough what he was sending the first go round. He said, but take this, get the ball rolling, find out how much you need, and send back for more money. This was coming from the President of the United States. And for North St. Louis City to get $512 million initially, but they sat on the money, didn't tell a lot of people still to this day don't even know that the money exists. And they're sitting on the money to correct interest when so many people don't even know about it. To me, that's despicable, man, because you got a people that's been suffering before COVID, and now that COVID struck, it gave them more suffering. And after we're coming out of COVID, and we're still in COVID, whether folks know it or not, COVID has not gone away. It's still killing people. It's still taking people out of here. But on the north side have the same ability to do that, but our elected officials don't aid and assist the people at getting these resources. They're telling them now to stop tearing down these brick buildings. They want they want them to preserve and restore. There's somebody was telling me that historical homes qualify for $16,000 annually for improvements and repairs.
Yeah. But that's what I was getting to. The same house on the north side, which is older than the house on the south side, is not deemed historical, and they tear it down. Now here's what I've seen, Prince. Here's what I've seen, and I've seen this with my own eyes. I've seen them bring bricks from the north side of a building that they tore down and fix the houses on the south side with them, so that they will match. Prince, I gotta go. I got company coming.
Okay, all right. Thank you so very much. Ben, continue to listen and continue to call. And I just wanted to talk to my brother this morning to get some of that off of my chest. And it's always fun talking to somebody like Ben. Ben is very rounded and knowledgeable in many areas. And I enjoy talking to him all the time. I got a few minutes before we get out of here. We can take your calls if anybody got anything to add or take away from what we've discussed thus far. The number to dial is 314-732-1212. That's 314-732-1212. This is Prince Carter. I'm your host, Town Hall Community Radio. We're going to be doing this each and every they find it to be a blatant level of disrespect, and they just don't want the legacy of Homer G. Phillips to be portrayed in such a manner. So I support the coalition, the Change Your Name Coalition, as well as anyone that's standing out against wrong and injustice in our community on any level. I encourage folks to find ways to do something to bring about change to your neighborhood, your block, your community. And I'm deeply disturbed about this thing with the schools, man, and how these young folks are now being allowed to attack teachers and so on and so forth. We're going to look up one day and we're not going to have any teachers because they're all going to walk away from the profession if we don't protect them. If we don't have a zero tolerance enforced, there needs to be a grave repercussions and consequences behind anyone that brings any form of attack on a teacher or faculty member at the schools. Those folks are there for our children, and we should support them to the utmost. And we should make sure that they're safe, they feel safe, and they're not caused any harm. They're not caused any harm. Good morning, caller. You're live on the air. Go ahead.
My brother Prince Carter. Good morning, sir.
Good morning, Mr. Rick.
And what that name means to many in the black community.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe not as many in the now generation, but my generation and yours,
absolutely.
It means a whole hell of a lot.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Here's my thing. Okay, now I have a problem with Homer G. Phillips' name being attached to that clinic. So that's basically what that is. It's not a hospital.
And not even a clinic. I would say more or less like an urgent care.
Well, okay. Well, it does have, 3 or 4 beds in it where they can have some inpatient folks. But here's my point. Okay. Homer G. Phillips Hospital closed in 1979, 45 years ago. That clinic, or whatever you want to call it, opened in 2021. So there was 42 years where there was nothing at all done about the legacy or protecting the name of Homer G. Phillips. Okay? If Paul McKee, and I have many problems with Paul McKee, but here's what I will say. Paul McKee made the investment. He built it. He used his own money. And in America...
Why won't he use his own name? He should use his own name and not Homer G. Phillips.
No, listen, I'm on your team and everyone else's team who opposes the name. We're on the same team there. My point is, what happened in the 42 years between 1979 and 2021? There's a tremendous effort now.
Is one on that facility in the Ville, the Homer G. Phillips adult living facility. I think that's their position on that. And I was trying to get in touch with Zenobia, and I wasn't able to quite do it.
Okay.
But so you think Paul McKee did a good thing?
No. Well, here's what I'm saying. He made the investment. It's just like, okay, King Prince Barbecue. Well, you are the owner of King Prince Barbecue. You can call it what you choose, right? My position with him, and please, I know some folks will get mad at me. I'm not defending Paul McKee, but he did spend his money. He owns it, and you can call it whatever you want when you own it. Now, I have a problem with what he has decided to call it, but he made the investment. I'm circling back to the black community. These people, a lot of the people at this coalition fundraiser are some of the same people who've been around town for the last 42 years and did nothing to preserve the name.
The name is Craig. The name is being preserved, in my opinion, with the adult living facility at the actual location of the hospital, which is Homer G. Phillips extended living care.
Okay. Here's my whole point is this. It was 42 years.
It's hard to get anything done with black folks in this town. And I tell you, one of the things is the crab mentality. I just, for the love of God, I wish I could get my alderwoman to come on here and converse with me about her position of me not expanding onto a vacant lot that's been vacant well over 20 years in this community. And for her to take the position and telling me that she's going to try to do all she can to stop and block is beyond comprehension here. Why would she want to write a letter to the St. Louis Development Corporation? One of the problems that my alderwoman has is that I was constantly calling her, trying to converse with her because I like to avoid unnecessary confrontation. And I know how she is. I know how controlling she chooses to be and wants to be. I understand all that. So to try to keep peace, I'm trying to converse with her about my plans for expansion. And she's not returning phone calls. She's not accessible. She's not returning emails. I go down to the Board of Aldermen and leave messages. She don't respond to that. So I went ahead and proceeded without her and did all the things that I knew to do to make this a reality. And now after the fact, she is now seeing that my labor is about to come to fruition. Now she wants to come out of the woodwork, and she calls me and begins talking about something that didn't have anything to do with me and nothing disrespectful. Because for one, I'm not hollering at you. I'm not raising my voice at you, and you don't have the right to raise yours at me. And I'm the type of man, and see, that's why I don't have a woman. Because nowadays, so many of these females think they can just talk to a man any kind of way. And I'm old school. I'm going to respect you, and you're going to respect me. We're going to have a mutual level of respect. And when we get away from that, that's when it becomes problematic. So the sisters start yelling, I didn't tell you I was going to support that. I want you on Martin Luther King. Okay, I can go on Martin Luther King and do that project, but I want to stay here where I'm suited and booted and expand this. And that's what she doesn't want me to do. She's like a dog sitting on the bell of, hey, ain't nothing she can do with it, just don't want me to have it.
Well, maybe, and this is speculation, I don't know, maybe she has promised that tract of land to someone else who is more friendlier.
Say that. That land has been vacant for over 20 years. Anybody could have developed it all they wanted to by now.
Okay, but here's where we are, Prince. And again, we're both natives of this town. Okay, this is a let me see you do it first type of town. Not a lot of people are comfortable doing something first. Now, once you expressed an interest in developing that lot, it's probably been vacant longer than 20 years. Okay, but at least that long.
20 vacant lots. Okay? So unless you're going to tell me there's a plan to develop all those vacant lots, and that's the last one, I'm still not buying it. I said that to say this, my brother. I said that to say this. If that was an issue, there are a number. We have an abundance of vacant lots in our community to choose from. You wouldn't disagree with that, would you?
Oh, no, sir. And just for full disclosure, I ride constantly I'll take Union from West Florissant all the way to Forest Park, and I'll do it in reverse. And I reminisce on what Union used to be when I was a kid, and how it was a thriving business and residential community.
Thriving.
And you see it now, and there are many parts, frankly, where it looks like someone has dropped a bomb on Union Avenue. That's shameful. Too many people are to blame for that. But again, my thing was, I don't know that, but it's speculation as to maybe why your alderwoman wants to block you.
Well, I I don't want to speculate. I want my older woman to be the woman that she says down and have a constructive and productive conversation with me pertaining to this matter. I'm not going to accept you hollering at me because I'm not going to holler at you. I'm going to respect you, and I'm going to demand that you're intimidating and threatening people. And I'm praying for the sister. I don't have anything personal against her, other than the fact that she has been one of the individuals that has, for the last 10 plus years, been behind the move to shut me down and to stop me from operating without any just cause, because she's not strong enough to say why. She's not willing to say, well, Mr. Carter, you've done this, that, and another. One of the things that she and I was bumping heads about early on, she was had a problem with my signage. She said I had too many signs. She didn't want me to have all the signs. So just to, kind of keep down confusion and to let me move on and not allow her to be an unnecessary distraction, I took a couple of the signs down. Those signs weren't hurting anybody, but when they run these freaking campaigns, they have signages all over the neighborhood, and sometimes they don't even come back and take them down. But that's not a problem. The problem is a black man trying to sell barbecue, and you're counting how many signs he had. What does that say about you?
Well, it says a lot. And here's one thing that we all should keep in mind. The other woman may have recently been reelected, and as we all know, the number of alder persons have gone from 28 to 14. Mm-hmm. Here's what I'm saying: all of them can be recalled if you have enough.
No question about it. But here's the thing, and be honest with you,
salty, frankly, because she didn't get support from the mayor to be the president of the Board of Aldermen. Now, that's an election.
And the fact that they stripped her of her title.
Well, they work with her, and they see her behavior every day. Mm-hmm. So maybe they were justified in stripping her of those titles. I mean, look at how she treated you. Does she deserve a title? Does she deserve more influence and impact than she has?
Not with the way that she behaved herself with me. She doesn't. And I just hope and pray.
You're not the only one.
I hope and pray that she's going to come around and say, I was having a bad that day. I was wrong. I apologize. And I can forgive her and move on. But unless she's willing to offer me an apology, I'll never have any respect for her. Because I didn't deserve the way she talked to me, the way she spoke to me, and to hang up on me. I didn't deserve any of that. And God is my witness. I was respectful toward this sister. I never raised my voice. I never said anything out of the way. I've always been professional with her. And for her to behave the way she did with me on Wednesday was totally unacceptable. And I'm praying for her. I pray that God removes her spiritual blindness, but she needs to understand. And I hope and pray that somewhere along the line, she understands that I am a true child of God. And if she continues to attack me and come after me, God will make her my footstool. I promise you he will. Because she has no legitimate reason, no justification in the behavior that she displayed to because of now, you know how sometimes people say something and you blow it off, but now I'm beginning to wonder, because she called me one time and she was raving about she was so tired, she was ready to give up with the people down at the board. They won't tell her nothing about the money, which I find it hard to believe because you tell them you this hotshot lawyer and you have all these lawyer skills, you should be able to file necessary paperwork to reveal whatever you need revealed down there at the Board of Aldermen. And if you can't do that, then you're not, in my opinion, much of an attorney.
Well, you don't have to be an attorney.
Well, she talks about her attorney skills all the time. I just mentioned that as one of the factors that she could utilize that level of knowledge to retrieve information about the American Rescue Plan funds. And I don't think that she's been forthcoming and totally honest with me as it relates to those funds.
and probably not. But again, from just as an outside observer, that older woman, she doesn't have a lot of support within the board itself.
Mm-hmm.
So when you have 13 other, and I don't know if it's all of the other older persons who have issues and animus toward her, but let's say there are the majority of them. Well,
hey, let's be clear on that. I mean, because I'm a respectful guy. I like to respect people because I require respect. But I'm not going to allow all the woman's ties or anyone else to be disrespectful toward me and not call them out on it. She owes me an apology. The question of the day is she woman enough to do that?
Well, yeah, that is the question of the day. Of course, I don't have an answer. And right now,
and the phone line is 314-732-1212. She can call in. I will talk to her right here and right now on these airways with no problem. I don't have a problem with that.
Well,
I bet you she does.
Brother, but
I bet you she does.
That's kind of ambitious. Yeah, that's kind of ambitious of you to want her to do that when I just don't see how she would or why she would at this point.
If she was justified, if she was justified in her behavior, if she's justified in disrespecting me, she would do it. But she's not justified, and she knows she don't want people to hear how disrespectful she can be towards someone such as myself. And for her,
oh no, she would never go on public and repeat what she said to you. Because at this point, it's her word against yours. There's no proof of it.
I ain't got no reason. I ain't got no reason to allow that, sister. I'm not gonna allow it. Let's be clear on that.
I get that.
I ain't gonna allow nobody about nothing.
Well, you won't, but maybe she will.
And may God have mercy on her soul. But I don't think that at 8:00. Okay, the text she said.
Maybe she's listening.
Okay. She sent me a text on yesterday, and the text said, "This is my personal cell phone. Missouri law requires all written correspondence, including pictures, to me as the older woman to be sunshineable. Thus, all written correspondence must be made to my professional email address, tyus@St. Louis /Missouri.gov. Thank you for complying with Missouri Sunshine Law." Now she's a lawyer. She's going to law on me. So my response to that is, I did send this to that email address. You failed to respond. So she still hasn't. And matter of fact, let me double check while I'm sitting here at the computer, and I'm gonna hop over here to my email address to see if she responded to that email address. And I see nothing. I see nothing from her, because, and matter of fact, and while I'm sitting here, I'm going to go ahead and resend it again to her, because let me see, when did I send it? I sent it Wednesday, and I'm gonna highlight it, and I'm gonna copy it, and I'm very disrespectful and unprofessional. You refuse to answer my question, and I find it very disturbing that you are telling me that you don't support me expanding my business onto a vacant lot that's probably been vacant for over 20 years without any justification or reasoning. For you not to support me expanding on a vacant lot, you said you were going to be writing a letter to the St. Louis Development Corporation. She told me she was going to write a letter to the St. Louis Development Corporation. I respectfully request a copy of said letter, as well as any justification or reasoning that you can provide as to why my business should not be allowed to expand on a vacant lot next to my business that's been vacant probably well over 20 years. As a city resident and a business owner, I am deeply committed to the economic development of our city and particularly this ward. I have run a business on Union for many years, and this current location I've been over 7 years. I provide a necessary service / product to the community and would like to continue to do that. Purchasing the adjacent lot and building a new structure would only add to this Union Street. It will allow me to expand my operation and offer more events. It will allow me to be part of a positive growth and development of a lot that has sat vacant for over 20 years. Your automatic email, but you don't respond to it. So there you have it, Brother Craig. What do you think about that letter?
Well, I mean, it was every point that you raised was made in the letter, so it's consistent.
Should an elected official respond to a letter like that from a business owner and a constituent in the ward?
Well, let me. Here's the
yes or no? Should a elected official respond to a letter such as that provided by a business owner and constituent in the ward?
I wouldn't think so. I wouldn't do it. That's what I'll say. I wouldn't do it.
Why?
It's
why?
Well, because it's first of all, it's not proper. It's improper protocol. It just is. When you are in a position of responsibility, the last thing anyone should do is have any contact with a constituent, whether you like them or not personally. You should never let it get to a personal level or have an inferment that it's something personal. That sounds, the response rather, sounds somewhat personal. Now, when you talk about someone who's a trained attorney, I don't know if she's in practice. She may have a law degree, but I don't know. But anyway, you would just think, just from a decorum standpoint, you don't interact.
To respond to a constituent.
Oh, absolutely. Yes. If nothing else, if she didn't want to write a letter or email, I'm sure she has a staff.
And then for her to hang up, raise her voice, and then hang up the phone the way she did, was just totally unacceptable for me. And I want to have a conversation with her because I can conduct myself, I can control myself, I can hold my composure, I can present myself in a professional manner, I can converse with anyone about anything on any level. So I'm not going to get hot-headed and angry and upset and run off and slam the phone down and duck my tail and run. I don't move like that. So I just find it very revealing that she has taken this position as well as come out of the closet and shown her true colors. You're going to tell a business owner that's trying to expand his business in your ward that you got a problem with them expanding on a vacant lot that's been vacant for over 20 years. What, you want the lot to stay vacant? You don't want to see a new building on the lot? The people in your community don't deserve a new business? The barbecue, man, for crying out loud. I ain't selling whiskey. I ain't selling dope. I'm selling barbecue. And you got a problem with that? Come on now. What type of message do that send to other people in the community? Other folks that are sitting back waiting for an opportunity, people in the community. I have no clue. I don't have any clue. I know that.
Here's the reason why I asked. Okay. It hasn't been developed for at least 20 years, if not longer. Mm-hmm. But it's not just that lot, as you know, and as we mentioned earlier.
It's all up and down Union. There's vacant lots. There's vacant lots.
That's what I'm saying. Okay, so not only has she neglected the lot next to you, she's neglected several lots.
But not only that, Craig, here's the kicker. I don't see a long line of folks lined up trying to do anything on Union Boulevard. And for you to shoot down or to attack any form of redevelopment is wrong. It's just wrong on so many levels. And I just wish she would have that conversation. If she's listening, the number is 314-732-1037. 1212. She's more than welcome to call in. I will be very respectful. I will talk to her just like you and I are talking.
If she's not listening, someone she knows is listening, because you just got a text from her within the hour.
Yeah.
So someone is listening.
Well, I really wish that she would talk to me about this and publicly. I don't want to have any more private conversations with Alderwoman Tyus at this point. I think anything that she and I converse on should be a part of public record and public information. I don't have any skeletons in the closet, any secrets that I want to possess. And this is something that I am willing to address, carrying on the torch to provide this product and this service for the community. And I'm working very diligently to make that a reality. Even in my absence, I want King Prince Barbecue to continue to be available. And I'm saddened that we have folks that are elected to represent us that will take the position that this sister has taken. And I'm continuing to pray for her. I'm encouraging others that have a relationship with God to pray over her and pray on her and pray for her, because I didn't pick no fight with Sharon Tyus. Sharon Tyus picked the fight with me, and I'm gonna allow her to fight with God, because I know her arms are too short to box with God. So that's why I'm putting prayer in this mix. I'm putting prayer on her that she can come back and say, you know what, I was having a bad day. I apologize, and I'm just going to apologize for my behavior and my blatantly disrespectful demeanor toward you, for you asking me why I don't support you redeveloping on a lot that's been vacant for well over 20 years. I would like to see that.
And hopefully she will have that moment. And she will acknowledge, hey, I was wrong. I do apologize.
Right. And I'll accept that. I just don't do it no more. You know. But here's the thing, Craig. I pride myself on being respectful to anybody. I don't care. It can be a alcoholic or a dope fiend on the corner. I'm gonna be respectful for them. I'm not gonna disrespect them. You understand what
But she does need to respond to you in some fashion or another, one way or another.
Mm-hmm.
I just, again, I get your cause, and the vacant lot right next to your business, but when I look up and down Union, that entire ward, as far as development on the major thoroughfare in her ward, the Alderwoman has been derelict in her duties. What has she done? What can anyone in that ward?
Well, I don't.
Done for the ward?
I don't know of anything. It's a secret. A lot of these people move. They move in silence, and they keep secrets, and they are. St. Louis has a very corrupt political history. And I find corruption on all levels of local government. And proof is, I'm going to give you a prime example. And I didn't put this together until recently. When I first came back to St. Louis, I was opened up on a parking lot of Ronald Jones Funeral Home right there on West Florissant and Adelaide. I was selling snow cones, hot dogs, tater chips, sodas. That's how I started back up. I took my unemployment check, and I had some yard sales and sold some things, and I put the money together and got me a license and began operating on that lot. It was politicians elected to represent you and I that worked diligently.
But look at the two individuals you mentioned, though, Prince.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, let's consider that for a moment. One of them is a fraud, and the other is convicted.
Mm-hmm.
There was no way to expect a positive result from those two.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
One's a fraud, and the other one is convicted.
I somebody brought to my attention an article out of the Post-Dispatch that Antonio French wrote, and I just read it last night. I don't remember all verbatim, but it was to the tune of the 30. It was talking about the $37 million grant money for small black businesses in North St. Louis City, and the article read something to the effect of promises made, promises not kept, something on that line. The article was okay-ish. I'll say it wasn't as thorough and precise and accurate as I would have liked it to have been. There was some key components missing from the article, such as those actually being emergency funds, and it should have been explained in the article that those funds were a result of the post-COVID crisis to aid and assist these small businesses in this given area, and they were supposed to have been distributed to the businesses expeditiously, and the article failed to make reference or mention of any of that, and so I thought it was a disservice. But to my surprise, man, a lot of people to this day, COVID altogether, I think we may have been shut down somewhere around 6 weeks, if that. Before and after the 6 weeks of shutdown, we were operating on a skeleton everything. We had supply chain issues. Some of the stores, I couldn't get but one case of chicken wings. They had a limit on this. They had a limit on that. You can't get but so many of it. So all these things had an impact on my business. It cost me to lose money.
Right.
So in the interim, now I'm not making the money. So what I got to do now? I got to go in the cookie jar that I've been preserving and peel out of that just to keep the doors open and continue to operate, because I believe that this could not last forever, and this too shall pass. And little did I know that I'm steady going in the cookie jar, and then I look up one day and there's nothing left in the cookie jar, and we're still spinning our wheels. We're still having issues of supply chain issues. We're still having problems with getting product from the distributors that we was lucky to make our money back, let alone make a profit. So there were a number of challenges that my business was plagued with as a result of COVID-19. And to this day, we still have residual effects that we're dealing with post-COVID. So when the federal government announced that it would be sending funds to aid and assist, I was excited about that we live in this hood census tract and to begin the process of building from the ground up. And our local government chose to put the money in the bank and collect the interest, which was a knockout to me, because all they had to do was to get that money out, absorb that, and send back for more, per instructions of the President of the United States. And if anybody disagrees with that, and anybody don't believe that, I challenge them to go to YouTube and pull up the State of the Union address from March 11th of 2021. It lays it all out. So, my brother, to answer your question, folks are still suffering from the residual effects of COVID-19, and I don't believe that it is fair for our local government to continue to sit on these funds and to keep the money from the people. And that's what I'm all about. I'm about awareness and educating folks. The petition drive is starting to pick up. We're getting a little bit more momentum with folks signing the petition. The petition is going to be one of the key elements in getting this thing totally unveiled and revealed to the world for what it's worth. And black history is being made right now by black folks that represent black folks that are holding emergency funds from those black folks in the midst of a crisis.
And I'm going to tell you something about the money going into an account to draw interest. That has been the case for about a year. The first year and a half or so, the money was just sitting around, and there was indecision as to whether...
Get out of here. I got to hit. I got to split. I got to go. Hope you enjoyed the show. I'll catch you on the next one.
Oh, we'll do this again, brother. Trust me. You know, I love talking. I get paid to do it, too, so it's beautiful.
All right. We go.
Yes, sir.
It is time for us to use our power. Please do not beg folks for power. Nobody is going to give it to you. You were born with power.
very sad news for all of you and people who love peace all over the world. Martin Luther King was shot and was killed tonight in Memphis.
I will never say that progress is being made. If you stick a knife in my back 9 inches and pull it out 6 inches, there's no progress. You pull it all the way out, that's not progress. The progress is healing the wound that the blow made.
I think I'm hearing revolution in the air. Tell me, brothers, talk to me, sisters.
But the hard truth is that not everyone is sharing in this city's splendor and glory. There are more poor than ever, more families in trouble, more and more people who need help but can't find it.
A struggle against the common enemies of man.